Well, today, guys, we're going to talk about the AT2. I know I've done a video on this before, but it's about time for an update. One thing we've got to look at is the characteristics of the tank. Armor on the front is insane. It's basically a block of flats moving towards you, and the gun is insane too. I use the 6-pounder, the AT gun Mark Mark 5. I don't use the 3.7-inch AT howitzer. A lot of people go for that. It's kind of the derp gun. But look, the standard penetration's lower. The alpha damage is higher. So you run the risk of actually not penetrating some of the tanks in this tier, especially things like KV-1s. And certainly if you go up against tier 6, KV-1S is going to be a difficult job for you. And also, you could come up to the AT, the next evolution of this tank up as well in tier 6, which I think is an AT7, or could be an AT8, one of the two. It's too early to be talking the line. So I run, obviously, calibrated shells. I don't run rammer on this because we've already got 19 rounds a second. And also run modules to look after the crew, because if you've got a dead driver, you're in big trouble, even though you can be tracked. And also optics, even though that's kind of here nor there, you can't see bugger all in it anyway. I run engine accelerator. It's super important to be able to get you turning in this tank, and you'll see why. So that's definitely the case. And obviously the aiming, you want to get aimed up quick in this thing. So in this game, what we're going to do is going to look at the best features of the AT2. It's a bit of a funny match because it ends in a bit of a comical way. I got a bit of a laugh out of it, as you probably will also. But it's a tier 6 match, so it's tiered up, and that's where the AT2 can still hold its own. And certainly you have to be careful when driving any tank in the higher tier. That's something that we have to obviously always consider. But what we're doing is we're just following the back of the team, and we're slow. That's one thing with the AT2 you have to understand. I mean, this thing is fully equipped. I've got all the equipment on this tank. I've got engine accelerator. I've got all the bells and whistles in relating to gun rammer. I've got optics. I've got the modules to protect the crew. All those sorts of things are in place because, I love this tank. I've even got a gold camo on this thing, which I absolutely love. So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to look for somewhere to put ourselves in front of the enemy and start firing. And here's a classic example. There's a little Bic out there trying to cap B, which they did successfully. But we've seen that there's an AT2. AT2 is going to do some damage. But look at the bounces off the KV1. KV1's bouncing us for 200. Now, obviously, we know the weak spot is the cupola or the hatch at the top of the AT2. But how many shots has he put into me now that I've just completely bounced? And we've taken out a KV1 in a matter of seconds because the rate of fire just keeps doing damage. And I know this KV2 is trying to sneak up on my rear, so I don't want him to ever hit my rear. And now what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to run down, hit adrenaline, because I've put my rate of fire right up there now. And I just want to come down and take this guy out, get rid of him. He's a danger tank. Our teammates are onto it though, which is great. I turn around because I realize they're coming to the back of me, and that's what anyone who's got any kind of idea how to actually battle this tank will know. And you can see this ARL did a really good job of getting into the side of me here. Now, what happens? He gets backed up by this Leopard, and I get boxed in by the KV2. I didn't realize I was boxed in here. So I kill the Leopard. A teammate killed the Leopard, but I was about to. And this ARL is locked in. He's killed me. He's about to kill me, and then he gets locked in. I think it's absolutely hilarious that he can't get out of this predicament he's put himself in. So inadvertently we take him out by his own accord, which I think is absolutely awesome. Anyway, we end up winning this match, and you can see in the tier 5 and a tier 6 match, we second highest score. You can't ask for much better than that. So we had a funny game, but it was a good game. This game is actually going to be all around tactics. And we end up with a first class in it. Not quite a mastery, but we came so close. it was one of those things where you almost got the date, but you didn't quite get the date. Anyway, we push up towards Temple, and the reason I want to do that is because I want to use the buildings. I want to use the push forward. And I looked at the opposition. I thought, man, they're probably going to push up this direction. It turns out that I'm not right. I think they end up pushing up from behind us here. But you'll see I use the tactics of it. Guys, if you've got an AT2 or any kind of tank like this on your team, um, don't bump into the side of them. Don't push them around trying to get them going fast and all that. It's not going to help. In fact, all you can do is hinder them. So here's what's happened. I've pushed up the Temple. Thought, nah, these guys are going to push up on our rear. And you can see because our team's gone over to the center and there's nothing spotted. And look at that. My prediction is true. I must be Nostradamus. He is the dude with the biggest nostrils. And obviously could predict stuff too. But what I'm trying to do now is just keep myself in cover. And you can see I actually bouncing shots. And I'm trying to keep my front bouncy to all the guys in front of me. There's actually 1, 2, 3 tanks shooting at me. So I've got to be careful and try and manage where the shots are coming from because they're all coming from different angles. Only the front of this tank is strong. Actually, the side armor is not bad. Look at old mate here. He just pulls straight out in front of me, which is completely dumb. If you've got one of these tanks on your team and he's out in front doing the damage like I'm doing right now, pull him behind. Use this tank as the shield. I am the shield for, all the other guys on the team. You can see I'm just bouncing shot after shot. I have not taken any damage yet. Now, obviously a KV-1 can damage me, and certainly if he hits me in the cup holder at the top, the little hatch, I've already spoken about that. But that is a weak spot on this tank. But you've got to be bloody accurate to get it. And a good old Soviet Tier 5 gun is not going to do that every day of the week unless they've got a little bit of skill about them and are used to driving that tank and aim right up. By the time he's aimed up, I've pumped about 6 shots into him. So I'm only doing 75 damage with that 6-pounder. With that gun that I'm using. But, each time I'm doing it, I'm taking chunks of his hit points out of him. And look, they've stopped shooting at me because they've realized it's not doing anything. He's now turned around and gone, I better shoot this guy. And by that time he's looked at me, he's dead. So completely wrecked a KV-1, which I think is probably the strongest tank in Tier 5. And I've still got these 2 guys down here. I'm just trying to put shots on them. And I don't want them to get in behind me. Because if they get in behind me, they could actually do a lot of damage, especially that Leopard. He's got enough maneuverability, and he can actually pen the rear of this very easily and do a lot of damage to me. So I'm just trying to keep a distance here. There's another one gone, and at this point in time, we are just now even. And you can see I'm still a full hit point pool. So what I'm going to do is going to leave that dude, and I'm actually going to go over to the center here and try and take out some of these other guys because the way I look at it, I don't want anyone on the rear of me. I'm not Greek. I don't like that sort of stuff. Get me out in front where I can actually do some damage like this is the go. So, no offense to any Greeks, by the way. It's just, there's the stories. Come on, let's be honest. So, pushing down into the center here, I'm looking for some new targets because, again, I want to roll right up to the front. Since then, we've lost another teammate. So all my teammates are falling around and we're still on full hit points. And it's not like we haven't been active. We've actually shot more than, LeBron in a game, we've just been pumping damage. Now look at this guy. He's now sitting there wanting to hit point trade with me. He's very well armored in the front. I'm just aiming for that hatch. Look at this gun go. He actually did finally do a little bit of damage on me. And I'm just aiming for his hatch, which is the weak point on the T1, and I'm just going to town on him. Look at the damage I'm rolling out, 43, 50, and I'm doing it regularly, and it's just whittling him down. How dumb is this dude? He's just sitting there looking at me, finally gets a shot into me and does some damage, but I'm willing to take that at this point in time to dispatch another person. So there's another kill, number 4 in the overall aspect of the process. And we're now pushing towards victory. I could have stayed on that cap circle, but no, I don't want to finish that way. It was a little bit of a risk on my part, I must say, because this tank is that slow There's someone who's running the other side of the map, and I'm screwed. So part of me is like, no guts, no glory. And I was recording, so I was hoping for a good outcome. And I'm just pushing now out towards where this tank was last seen. Part of me is hoping they're still there. Part of me is going, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to look like a right royal pelican. Anyway, so we found him, and he's going to try and do the runner at some stage, especially when he realizes there's a tank that he can't penetrate is coming directly at him. And at this point in time, I don't really care. I just want him in my sights. Took a shot, missed, but I flushed him out from a teammate, and I just keep pushing towards him. Right? I don't want to actually do anything. We're under a minute left in the game. PZ takes him out. So I don't really care who takes him out. If I got him, it was probably my mastery. But look, at this stage, I don't really care. A win is a win, is a win, is a win, is a win. So again, first class game, and we did a stack load of damage. The PZ didn't do a lot, but anyway, he was there at the end with me. I can't complain. So in this game, it's a little bit different, and it's a supremacy match. So we've got to be real careful how we play it. And, again, I need to be careful. It's a tier 6 match. So we actually have some really big hitters. Yeah, you got the Jagdpanzer on there, the tier 6, which is, now a very OP tank. There's an ARL on there as well, which is a great tank, KV-1S. All of these tanks can actually do a lot of damage to me, and there's also a Churchill 1. Now, Churchill 1 is probably not quite as strong as me, but I tell you what, he's not far off it. So I've got to be mindful that that tank there could really do a lot of damage and really cause me a lot of drama. So I've just got to be aware of what I'm doing, and I've got to play this one really smart. So it's why I wanted to include it in the mix. Again, it's not a mastery match or anything like that, but a lot of people say, oh, but this tank's no good in tier 6, and you can get, people can come around the back of you. Look, I'm not bragging in this regard. I'm in the top 150 in Asia in this tank in terms of stats, which it's obviously not right up there, but, in this tank, I'm actually regarded as super unicum. And I've played a lot of games in this tank, and you can see what I'm doing here. I'm hiding my cup at the top, which is the weak spot. I'm trying to track this guy, which is stopping him from capping. He's shooting me, but he can't penetrate the front of me. And now I'm actually putting damage through his drive wheel. I'm going to sit here and not move now because I've got the best spot. I'm keeping him tracked. He's doing bugger all damage to me with his massive gun, and I'm actually just unloading on him. And I've hit adrenaline, which means I'm even faster at loading. So leopards come around on the arse of me, and I want to protect that. Like I said before, there's no Greek in me at all. And I just want to make sure that he does not get behind me and he stays in front of my gun. And I'm suffering a little bit of lag at this stage. But again, we put enough pressure on him to fold his little world right around him. So now I'm actually going to come up here and cap this because it's supremacy. That's the main aim of the game. Actually, I didn't cap it. I thought I did. I should have. But there's only 2 tanks left, so why cap it? Let's go for glory. And now there's only 1 tank left. So what I did was I held this right flank. Obviously, our teammates did a really good job in this game, and I'm acknowledging them there. We come around this corner, and it's just about all over. There's not much left to do. I think KV-1S is either AFK or he is no good anyway. So that's the AT2. Keep the front towards the enemy. Try and protect your bum. I didn't show any games where you could actually use buildings to get off the side, but you can see that funny first one I was trying to do is scrape the guy off the side of me. Guys, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, get on board with Telegram chat, WhatBlitzWorld_lounge, and I'd love to have you on board in there, and we can talk crap, and you can post all your stuff up there. I don't care. Post videos, whatever you want to do. It's a free-for-all. And I just want people to love the game like I do and enjoy getting out there amongst it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the channel. And thanks for making it all so much more enjoyable. Cheers.